No, Anthony is the one who's leading the call.
Okay.
Anthony, go ahead, sir.
So where are these to do? So I think we can begin to do the now we have two to-dos from our last meeting, and the first one is for Alfio, who was supposed to create a HL7 channel. And so Alfio, you can give us information about this.
Yeah, we actually did not. I did not create the channel, but I developed on the one that we had before. We tried to make more adjustments and make some observations. One of the things that we noticed when you create a channel is that this channel, if you do not undeploy and redeploy it, then the changes will not take effect. So once we realized that, we went ahead and made some changes to the HL7 to MRS channel, and we just undeployed and redeployed. And then we got data to send to MRS. So what remains is I have installed that module in the test server 75. And I want to try and see how they get processed, because now we can get the messages to MRS HL7 directory, but we are not able to process them. So I want just to have the settings in the test server, and then once we get it working, then we can ship it over to the production.
I have two questions. First, Anton, where are you reading those to-dos?
It's fun. It's like they are offline.
Okay, they are not updated on the wiki?
Yeah, it's like the person who was to post them didn't do so. So.
All right, so let's just remember to put those things here, because now I don't know what we are, we are going through exactly. I was like, okay. Yeah, and second, Alpha, I just need a bit of clarification. When you say you installed that module on 0.75, what module exactly are you talking about?
Speak again.
PCS lab interface module.
Yeah.
So basically, once the data gets to a drop directory in the MRS, the production, there is a schedule that is supposed to move those files from that folder to some folder within the production, so that the HL7 processing starts off.
Yeah.
So we have them now. What I want just to do is to create a similar folder in the test server, without redirecting the channel to send to the test server, and then install the lab interface module. Then see, give it maybe look at the global properties of MRS and see which ones needs to be revised to get the processing going on.
Yeah, but okay, that's good. If you are planning to, the plan is to see how things work. But I think you have all those settings on production already, right?
Yeah. The records are in production, but you realize their system admins were trying to change some global properties when they changed the drop directory where PCS delivers the messages to. So I don't know whether I need. I don't have actually the documentation on what it should be, because I realized the one that are the global properties related to PCS that are currently in productions are not the one that was there before. So Yeah, so I just want to, and I realize it's not processing. Ideally, it should be processing. Once the messages get to that drop directory, they should be moved, but they are not. It's not happening. So I guess this could be an issue with the global properties.
Yeah, that is okay. Anyway, let me. I'm trying to understand the problem here. So basically, when we were discussing this issue initially, I thought the issue was getting the. Yeah, so I was thinking my thinking was the issue was getting this information from the math server to AMRS server. I think that's where the link was broken.
Yeah, we got
So
that
are
too.
you saying that even if you transfer, even if you are successful in getting the messages from math to AMRS server, still the processing is not being done, is not happening?
Yeah, it's not happening.
That is strange. Huh?
Yeah, because now I think we need to figure out why it's not, and then that's why I was thinking probably that's the issue of properties, the global properties to be changed,
So
or maybe the owners,
okay.
maybe even, it might be even the owners, the ownership of the files, maybe the directory. But I'm not getting any error. Even when I restart the PCS Lab interface module, even the schedule I don't see in the logs doesn't indicate any problem.
Yeah,
So I think.
maybe. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to say maybe it's not because it's not very verbose. Sometimes when you code these modules, we don't log a lot of stuff, so you won't see much because you're not logging. But you could try when you are running that. You could try putting the log level to debug and see if you can see anything. Maybe the log level is in one or error, so you don't get to see anything happening.
Sure, I think it should be in the info, maybe info. I think I will just change to. I didn't want to change that in production. I wanted to try it on the test server. That's why I was trying to set it up there, because at times it takes a lot of space when it's in the debug mode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's a good. That's actually that's a great approach. Because I was thinking. My thinking was the issue was just to get the messages from the math to MRS to the production. But now, if it doesn't even process those messages there, then it's good to start with the task server. But the thing with the test server, yeah, it's fine. Now it's fine. You have that database, but sometimes you don't have very realistic things because the data is totally out of. Yeah, well, in this case, it shouldn't be a problem because we are not really concerned about the kind of data you see on production. But sometimes, when I was trying to figure out the issue around that patient search thing, there was mismatch. So I was kind of getting different results when I got task server and as compared to what I get from the production server. But anyway, in this case, I think it's fine. You can just go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Okay. Any other concern? Actually, Chega is also with us.
Oh, that's amazing.
He has been following. And it's like he's convinced with all that you've said. Now, the next to do, let me get it from the offline source. Regan was to remove the ability to edit demographics in Muzima forms. I think Muzima guys can now help us with that information. Sorry, did you create a ticket for that? So it's like no one here is aware of any progress on that to do.
Okay. Maybe there's something which needs to be cleared because right now I don't know when Reagan left. My understanding is he was gonna keep on working on some stuff for some time. So I'm not sure if this is one of them, or how did it exactly happen? Did he hand this stuff to someone else? Like, okay, I have this 1, 2, 3. Somebody is going to be taking care of this. I understand that now Alpha is kind of taking care of the team after Reagan has left. So is he the one supposed to be taking care of everything Reagan was saying, or especially this one?
You can respond.
Okay, I think we didn't discuss. Ideally, we did not discuss his programming tasks because I believe that will have to be reassigned. We will look at that. We did not discuss anything of those in terms of what he was doing. But what I thought probably is just look at the tickets and see what he was doing, and probably we agree on who should do it, or whether I should be able to move on with it.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, that's the kind of challenge. Yeah. So we have all these things Reagan was saying, and do you happen to know? Yeah, I can go through the tickets and see what kind of ticket was assigned to Reagan. And I'm not sure if we need to have a session to assign those, but the thing is, I'm hearing an echo from you guys, I think. Anton, can you just mute I think that's coming from you.
Sorry?
Can you mute maybe when you're not talking? Because I'm getting an echo, I think from you.
I think it's not very clear. Would you mind repeating?
Yeah, it's because you are not muted. Can you mute yourself because when you're not talking? Okay, that's great. So what I was saying is we have things which were, and Reagan was saying a lot of issues by the time he was leaving, and yeah, I think you guys were in contact with him, and my understanding is he was gonna keep on working on some of the stuff. So yeah, I can still write him an email, I suppose, but since he was handling all this stuff to you, file, I suggest you communicate with him and see, for example, sometimes we do things, especially on these issues, and they are not very, it's good, you get a very good picture if you talk to Reagan himself than just reading through the tickets. So basically, I think what we need to do is go through those tickets and communicate with Reagan so that we can have a clear picture of how things are and where he left the things, so that we can know how are we taking care of the remaining tasks to be done. Yeah, so in the meantime, we need to see we need to see the priority of those tickets. Like Aragon has been handling a lot of things, so we need to know exactly which is the highest priority, which needs to be done, so that we can focus on those, because we don't have a lot of resources to handle all these things uh, at this time, but we will try to our best ability. Yeah, so I guess that on this, one of the things we should do, we can do this on, I don't know when you guys suggest we can do this, but we can do this either in my presence or without my presence. One of these days, if Friday is good, we used to do this on Friday when I was there. We can go through all those tickets, and then we have to communicate with Reagan so that we can get a clear picture of the tickets on which Reagan was working. And then from there, we'll have to determine the priority and then try to fix those that we can. And while we're waiting to get more resources, then we will have to think about how we will handle that in relation with the task we have at hand currently. How about that?
That's fine.
Mark, what do you think?
What do I think about taking over the work from Regan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Communication would be good, and sorting out the tickets would be good.
All right.
Having talked with Martin about his conversations with Batuka recently, with who's with USAID, there's some key features or things that we need to try to get done over the next month, and I don't know if those are well communicated to the developer team.
Yeah, is it different from the point of care system?
Point of care is one piece of it.
Okay, and I suppose the dashboards.
Yes, the point of care, the dashboards, and then I think the other one was there were three key ones. It was point of care, patient dashboards, and easy access to reports for ministry.
Okay, the third one I don't remember discussing about that with Martin. Easy access to reports. Ah, okay. Yeah, isn't that?
Basically, it's the reporting work that's being done, but just making sure, and again, we don't have to do it comprehensively and in the most fantastic way. It's just being able to demonstrate, for example, at a site that is connected through the wide area network, that they can go in and click on a link to download the latest ART report or pre-ART report.
So, does it need more work other than what has been done? I mean, if we have ART reports if we have it ready and somebody can connect to AMRS, they should be able to download it as long as they have privileges to do so.
I think that one changed because I understand at the moment priority is on MOH 711 and 731 and not any of the two reports that we had done.
Yeah,
the ones we have already are perceived not to be important.
Yeah, the focus here, Anton, is not the type of report. The focus here is how the focus here, I think, is how easy for somebody at some other site to access those reports. And if you have noticed, Mark said that in a fantastic way, something that should be easy, comprehensive, and should be accessible. So whether it is I don't know, MOH 731, or if it is pre-ART or ART, still, what the requirement is the same. It should be able to be. The point here is access to the ministry. It's not the type of report that we're talking about here. So if you are to complete, if you need to complete MOH 731, yeah, that's fine. But how is it accessible to Ministry of Health? Is it the way they want it? That's the key thing that we're supposed to focus on.
Yeah, I think the reports that Anthony is mentioning are the ones that probably Batuka's thinking of, but the so it's both making sure that we can generate those reports and then making sure that there is a way for someone who is working, and it can be we can clarify this to make sure we're interpreting correctly, but my interpretation is that as long as there's someone who works at that remote facility who has access to AMRS, and we're talking specifically about a remote site that's on the wide area network, so that someone who can interact directly with AMRS, and if they have the authority to log in and see these reports, then they could log in, they could go to a page that, a reporting page, and say, show me, this week's or today's, report 7, whatever it is.
So I think, Burke, one question is that does it need to be on-demand report generation or just pre-generated reports to be available for them to access from remotely?
I don't think it necessarily needs to be on-demand generation. but ideally it would be something that was generated on a daily basis, something that it's not 2 weeks old information.
There should be some way to automate that process at night so that they just access it if they need it during the day. I don't know.
I think the goal was to have those reports generated on a weekly basis because it's some of the bigger sites take quite a bit of time to generate. I don't think daily generation would be possible right now.
Yeah, what Jeremy showed me is that for the larger sites that can take several hours to do a generation, depending on the report. But for the larger reports, for larger sites, it could take a couple hours, and that's why daily generation wasn't really planned. But for smaller sites, they were running in minutes.
So Anthony just put a comment saying that he thinks MOH guys want reports on demand.
Yeah. So I think if we have a reporting tool where someone can go in and ideally even with the built-in reporting tool, there's a process to run a report versus to look at a previous run of the report. And if that functionality is already existing, then that's really what they need. If they can go and say, well, we want to generate one on demand, we can demonstrate that at a small site that's connected and to the WAN, and they can generate it fairly quickly. If they need to see a larger one, then they may say, okay, we can do that, but it takes a couple hours because we have lots of patients.
Yeah, I just don't see how it's possible for some of the bigger sites to generate the reports on demand. For the smaller site, it's possible, but not for the big sites.
Yeah, I don't have enough data. I mean, I know that the larger sites and certain reports like the ART reports took a couple hours to run, and so I can understand why we wouldn't necessarily want someone to be doing that all the time, and we wouldn't want them just generating it on demand 5 times a day, and that's not feasible. But if the difference between Batuka being happy or not was that one time that he went to a remote site that had the capability and they said, oh, here's a button we can click and 2 hours from now we'll have a report, and that makes him happy, then that may be what we do.
I have a suggestion. Send him to the smaller site.
Yeah, exactly.
That will work.
But I think because these were discussed with Batuka a month ago, and it really came down to, from what Martin explains, is that he just wants to see that we can deliver something. So it's not about being perfect, or it's just show me some evidence of point of care, show me some evidence that you can make a dashboard, show me some evidence that even if it's not the prettiest thing in the world, show me that it can be done. And Martin said, well, okay, give us a couple months to do that, and we're halfway through that, and so we need to be laser focused on ensuring that what cycles we have are delivering those, and that we're not spending a lot of time trying to work on something that is much fancier than what is actually needed to fulfill that.
I think right now we only have one report that can be generated by using the reporting module, which is the PRD register. There's still a few, like about 3-4 tickets remaining for the ART register. So those would be the two examples that we can show to him. However, I think it would be good to assign like a developer just to be the responsible person to make sure that it would work remotely during his visit.
And with the other reports, whatever the 711 or 731 or whatever they are, surely we have some columns for that report.
Yes, but it's missing the major columns for the ART. So when the ART register missing the ART columns, I don't think is a good example to show.
Okay, so we don't have ARTs. We don't know who's on ARTs.
For the ART register, we're still finishing up the ART columns. I think we need to get those done soon so that we can use that as an example. I think that would be really persuasive to show that. Yeah. So I know that like those now fall onto Anthony's court. But is it possible to assign someone to help Anthony to finish those tickets up?
Yeah, Ada, you're talking about those 3 tickets, right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I was in communication with Anthony on how to handle these tickets. So those tickets are being taken care of.
Okay, that'll be great.
Yeah, I'll be the one working with him to get those done.
Great. Thanks, Willa.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just to make things clear or to clarify on that, did you suggest pre-ART or ART for showing?
I think we should show both. The pre-ART version 0.1 supposed to be working. I haven't heard any one complaint has issue. I don't know that means whether they are not actually generating them or there's no issue. Probably it will be a good thing Boniface can help us to follow up with. And then the one that I would like us to finish is the ART register so that we can show USID at least like a couple important, reports that they care about the most.
And we need to just to finish work on those 3 tickets, and that's it. We'll be done with ART, right?
ART register, yes. We just need, after those 3 tickets, we need reporting team to confirm they're working properly to their satisfaction, and then we can sign off.
Okay, right. Okay.
Okay, thanks for the contributions. Now, we don't have anything. Sorry. Yeah, so we'll move to today's agenda, and we have one which is about oncology module testing.
Yeah, Regan, Anthony, before we go to that, there's something actually I would like for Buck to clarify. Buck, you said that one of the priorities is patient dashboard. I've had a discussion with Martin about patient dashboard, and I'm not sure if we're on the same page.
I didn't actually say patient dashboard.
Okay.
I think what Martin was talking about with Patuca was a different dashboard. It was a dashboard more for administration, being able to know how many doctors have done this or that. And I think that what I talked about with Martin, the best approach for that would probably be to help facilitate Jonathan Dick to get data out into a data warehouse. And what I suggested to Martin was that we empower Jonathan by saying we'll create a warehouse server and focus our efforts in terms of any data warehousing needs to get data to that. and whether it's in MySQL, Postgres, Solr database, Hadoop, or whatever, or all the above, that essentially we have some hardware. We say this is where we will do our warehousing, and Jonathan can help, you know, pull the right data out of AMREF to generate some reports that will satisfy Batuka.
Okay, I guess I misheard you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my understanding actually. The last time I was talking with Martin regarding the dashboard.
Yeah, the dashboard, there's lots of dashboards. There can be patient dashboards, there can be user dashboards, and there can be administrative dashboards. And I think when Martin was talking to Batuka, they were talking about the latter, and that's probably going to be much easier done by transforming data, into a data warehouse and just generating some, even if they're just HTML generated, or use tooling that Jonathan's already created to just say, here's a page where you can see data that's updated on a whatever basis.
Yeah, so you have an idea of the kind of data they want to see, like exactly what kind of summaries are supposed to appear on the dashboard?
No.
Okay. Because that is kind of something that makes this a little bit tough. But I think, yeah, as you said, I think if we discuss with Jonathan, he has a very good idea of what should be the end. I think he's working on something that is resembling that, although this is on Losty to follow up.
Yeah, he's working with Daniel on the loss to follow up on the on that without the outreach group, and so what I think we will need to ask of him or leverage him for is to say, let's talk to Martin. Martin's going to be in Kenya within the week, and they can sit down and decide what things they want to display in terms of counts or indicators, and we can just make sure that Jonathan can get that data transferred over to a warehouse. And my suggestion to Martin was to not create a new warehouse for each of these needs, but rather to start consolidating and say, here's a machine that will be our data warehouse. And that way, if we transform encounters and flatten them out for outreach, then they're also there for the next 10 needs that want to be able to do quick lookups of encounters. So that's something we just need to make sure that to fulfill that request from Batuka, that Martin is talking to Jonathan, and that they know what they need, and that we're enabling Jonathan and getting the data out. Ultimately, we'd like to be able to, and that was kind of what we talked about of kind of the ETL module. We'd like to create a mechanism where Jonathan, or Ampath in general can do transforms into a data warehouse, and that those can we'd like to get to where those can be done as deltas, and they're not done from scratch on every time they're run. But we can evolve there, and they may start out as just being SQL queries that have to be done. It might evolve to scripting, but eventually it'd be nice to have that in an ETL module. And I know there's a summer code student that worked on is building an ETL module. He's going a little overboard with user interface graphing and stuff inside the module, which I think is unnecessary. But it looks like he's got some of the foundation for defining queries and sending them to another database. So we may not have to start from scratch with that. But I don't know that we don't need to make an ETL module for this, in the next month. We just need to make sure that we give Jonathan access to the data he needs for reporting, reporting it, making a dashboard for out of the warehouse that meets Batuka's needs.
Oh, back, I was saying something and I was talking to myself, I guess. I was saying, are you aware of the ETL module created by the Google Summer of Code student?
Oh, you didn't hear me say that? That's what I was just talking about.
Ah, okay. I heard you. I heard you. I thought you were saying, ah, okay. So I think I
So
misunderstood.
I described an ETL module, and we had a conversation about that earlier. And
Yeah.
then a Google Summer of Code, a student started a project. I think he's going overboard in terms of putting some of the data viewing into the module. I think that's overkill, but he has the basic functionality to start taking a query from the database and transferring it to another system. So
Yeah.
we may be able to look at that and evolve that.
Yeah. So in the meantime, as a dev team, what do you think you should be doing? I mean, I've
So
been
for
this.
this, with regard to this, I think we need to be focused on ensuring what's the minimum in terms of reporting access, that which reports, and what's the minimum in terms of work needed to satisfy Batuka for access to reports. My hope is that is one or two reports that are doable within the next month, and that we already have most of the mechanism through the web interface, that if someone has the right privileges, and we can ensure that each site has, that's in a wide area network, someone there has that privilege to go into the reporting and say, let me see this report. And most of what I've seen of the reporting tool, generally it has a ability to run a report or look at a previously run report. And
Yeah.
if we schedule those to run once a week, but yet someone has authority if they absolutely need to, like, for example, someone there who has the ability to give Ampath millions of dollars says, I want you to click on that button, that they can click on the button, even if we aren't necessarily going to want them clicking on that button 5 times a day.
All right.
But my hope is that with the reporting, we can define the reports, and that we don't have to do a lot of work generating some reporting tool, because we already have a reporting tool. And then if we give the right people, select people at remote sites access to get into the reporting tool, and they're trained that they don't just go and run any report they want to, because they'll bring down the system. Rather, here's how you can go and here's how you can see the most up-to-date report. You can download it, and that's very easy on the system to just download a previously run report. And here's how you can run a new report. But we don't want you to do that unless you absolutely, unless there's someone standing there offering millions of dollars to Ampath if you can click that button.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Anthony, you've said something there on the chat. You are saying that you've been testing MOH 361B, and you are just left with a column to confirm that all is working fine in 1.97. Are you saying that we don't have the 3 tickets?
Sorry?
You're saying that you have been testing on MOH 361B. How is this related to what we are discussing here?
Okay, I meant that, when you try to run any report in 197, it could throw some errors. So one thing I fixed some of the queries. Then you find that the data picker could not work on, in 197. I also fixed that. Now, when I tried to schedule a report, I realized that it was failing. So I just removed a few columns, and one at a time I could add them back to the report and see which one is failing. Now, I'm only left with one column to test, and if it goes through, I'll confirm that all is now well.
Awesome. All right.
So we can move on. We have one item that is oncology module testing.
Yeah, I was to test the oncology module. I picked the code that Win pushed to the GitHub, and I think it's not there is still a conflict between oncology and customization, because when I run oncology, it doesn't, and then it can't start when customization module is on, at least the one that is in the test server. So I would wish to know from Willa probably if we have whether we have a revised customization module that can coexist with the oncology module, or what else I need to install.
Okay, you're saying that you installed it and test server is not working?
The one that the most recent version, the code that Win just pushed to the GitHub oncology, I compiled that one.
Okay.
And then I have it's like it is complaining of a duplicate method.
Interesting. Why don't
Yes.
you? Okay, why don't you? Why we can take a look at that ourselves, but we can do it in parallel. We can do both the taking a look at the module ourselves and communicating with Sam and see if he knows about this problem.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, or maybe he has an updated code or something. Maybe what we have is not what he has. So that way things will be moving a little bit faster than trying just to look at the problems on our side.
Okay.
Anything else about the module?
Yeah, so something else, I just wanted to, so that we can be keeping track of what we are doing. So in this testing of oncology module, I think Bonnie created a wiki page somewhere. I haven't checked that wiki page yet.
There's several pages. Yeah, there's several pages on the wiki about the oncology project. Things that were created as it was being done. If you search the Ampath wiki for oncology, you'll find them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, what I wanted to say is, apart from that wiki page, I think for a problem like this we're facing right now, it's better if we create also a ticket. So Alfaro, I think it's better go ahead and create a ticket regarding that, so that we can be knowing what you're working on.
Yeah, there's an oncology project in Jira, I believe. There's a project for that work. I'll check it and make sure that see who's has access to it right now. But I think essentially we want to evaluate that module to see how much it's doing. I think Martin's perception is that because it's doing some rudimentary scheduling and some other features along with some HTML forms, that if we can make it work, that that would save us from doing a lot of additional work. From what I heard from the demo is that it was it did not function very well.
You broke up. I didn't. I just
said
heard the last part. Functioned very well. That's it.
Sorry. What I was saying is that our target is to provide some point of care, and if the oncology module can get us there quickly because it's just a matter of fixing a few bugs with it to get it working, then that may be the best path. If the oncology module has a lot of issues and it's going to take us 2 months to try to get it working, then we need to set it aside and create, probably just create some HTML forms that that sites that are on the wide area network could use to satisfy the need of demonstrating some point of care. So
Yeah,
I think that the first step is to assess that oncology module. It sounds like the demo did not go well, and so there's some concern. Jonathan voiced some concern that he didn't know if it was going to be usable. So we need to assess that module and see, can we get it working on 1.9 with very little effort. If it's going to take a lot of effort, then we need to before we start investing in that, we need to have a huddle, have a conversation, and decide what the best path would be for meeting. The primary goal is not getting the oncology module running. The primary goal is to demonstrate that we can do point of care. And if the oncology module contains the point of care and we can fix a few bugs and get it running quickly, then that's the quickest path to getting, a demonstration of point of care.
Yeah, Mark, actually that was the understanding even in the team. So basically we had several options. Even when we were starting this, we had the KAMR, the AMR, the OpenMRS reference application, and the oncology module. So, and basically, I'm not sure what you mean when you say there were some issues during the demo. The demo worked. The module was, some actually showed the module was working, and so I'm not really sure what is happening.
But we need to understand the difference between your perception and Jonathan's perception, because Jonathan.
That's right. I was getting to that actually.
Yeah. Jonathan had a very different reaction.
Yeah, I was getting to that. Yeah. So basically, Jonathan's concerns. One of the main concerns of Jonathan was the fact that the oncology module is creating a sub encounter. Jonathan wants to see what the 1.97 data model is trying to do, like multiple encounters per visit. You have a visit, then you have multiple encounters. So basically, the module, because it was created pre 1.9, it was based on the data model that had a single encounter. So basically, what they are doing in the module is they are collecting some information. They are creating a sub encounter before creating the final full-fledged encounter. So Jonathan didn't like that. He wants it to be to reflect the way the data model is. Like if the nurse is collecting some information, then that's an encounter. If somehow somebody else comes in and take it from where the nurse ends, like fill in some more information from the doctor or the provider, then that's a separate encounter. If there's another third person, that's the third encounter. That's not how it is done in the oncology module, and so that's more like it's a data model issue. It's from the user perspective, the user doesn't know if you are having the sub encounter or you are, because it doesn't say this is sub encounter. It just, as far as the user is concerned, maybe they're going to see the same thing, whether you implement it as a multiple encounter or implement it as a single encounter. So that's what the major issue that Jonathan raised, and we said, okay, for the purpose of the demonstration and how the module works, if this is what the user wants to see, then it's fine. The module is working and the user wants. The user wants to see that the patient is going from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. That is implemented in that module. So basically, that's one of the main issues that was raised by Jonathan during the demonstration.
Sorry, I said okay. I was on mute.
Yeah, actually, I also got the same impression as Willa just mentioned as well. Actually, probably it might be like acceptable for the users for the oncology program because this is really sort of what they asked for. I think Jonathan's concern is really about why not breaking down, why you just use like one encounter form and then break into the pieces. Why not just break them down into like encounters within the visit? I think that's really what he's trying to say.
Okay. So we need to clarify with Jonathan that he presented it like he didn't see any way it was ready for production.
Yeah, he was not really excited about what he saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the issue was Jonathan was he considered the way he's looking at things is he will consider it to be ready for production if it is implemented in such a way that you have the multiple encounters recorded, not as the way it is being done now, like you just have a single encounter. So, I mean, you can discuss about this, but I think what the conclusion we reached is we can still implement this module the way it is and show it as far as it works, as long as it works. And then, I mean, we can easily change it and accommodate the current data model where we don't need to have a sub encounter. I mean, we can just record the module so that we have the multiple encounters per visit as it should be. So I don't. That was the consensus. I thought that was what we agreed on during that demonstration. So I'm not sure if this should stop us from going ahead with the encourage module, or we should stick with it.
Yeah, I think we'll have to, maybe we can try to get Jonathan to explain what deficit. Unfortunately, the demo wasn't recorded, and I didn't see any notes from it. So there's just people's reactions, and so it's hard to make any judgment.
I'll send you the notes link. There are notes.
Oh, there are notes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think also there's one comment is about the improvement of the appointment searching. If a patient have like multiple appointments coming up on the same day, it will list multiple times in the search result, which is not that user-friendly. I think this is something that we all agree, and Sam would put on his next version to fix.
Yeah, it's frustrating that we're reinventing appointments when there's a very good appointment module out there.
Yeah, pretty much they can use the appointment scheduling module and the role-based module, and using take advantage of the visits and multiple encounter within the same visit. That's pretty much what it's supposed to be for this module.
Yeah. Ed, I'm not sure I understood you.
What I'm trying to say is that all these efforts for the current version of the oncology module, it could have been taken easily using the appointment scheduling module, role-based module, and the visits the visits include multiple encounters. Yeah.
Interesting. So you're saying maybe you should just get rid of oncology and then just implement this module. I mean, install these modules and then.
I'm not saying that because it's going to still need some kind of tweaking, So it's really up to you, up to the program to decide whether the current version is actually serve what they need.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
We have like 2 minutes to go, and we had just one item in our agenda list for today. So maybe if anyone has anything to add, any question. Yeah, Alfayo has just reported that he's created a ticket for the oncology staff.
I have a question. So since Regan left Empath, I want to know what to do with those tickets that he's been assigned as the assignee.
Did you ask Jira?
Yes.
What did it say?
What did you say, Burke?
I said, did you ask Jira? What did it
No.
say?
No, Jira would not know.
What do you mean it won't know? I asked Jira, and it shows me 32 tickets that are assigned to Reagan. And we'll say and status not enclosed.
I think it would be good
30.
to take care of those tickets so that it will not give the false impression to the requester. Regan's still working on those.
Yeah, so new, there's one in progress, new. So what I'm seeing are, so let's not in new or in progress. Okay. And there's a to-do that's done. So so if you look at assigned to Regan and status is not in done or closed, there are 29 tickets that are assigned to Regan that are either new or in progress.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how someone takes on 29 tickets.
Yeah, Mark, actually, actually, there's something that is going on in Jira. Somehow, Reagan is
Yeah,
the default.
he's the default assignee for
Yeah, this default
yeah.
assignee. So whenever you create a ticket, Reagan is automatically assigned to it. That's why whenever
Yeah,
it is new, he's
it,
also assigned. Yeah.
it looks like that would be MOB and MOB and maybe oh, a lot of them are MOB. Let me look at the MOB project. Where's MOB? MRF mobile form entry. Yes, he is the project lead, and it's set to automatically default to the project lead. So we'll change that. And who's the project lead for mobile form entry?
Yeah, currently I think there's no project lead for that module. For that, yeah.
So since Willa spoke, it is now Willa. But
All right.
tickets will be unassigned when their new tickets are created. So I'll go back and find and project and status is new. So out of those 29, it looks like, and I'm missing and. 26 of them are new. So meaning that they're not in progress. So we'll make a bulk change to all those and unassign them.
Okay.
Since they're not in progress, then let's see. Change assignee to unassigned.
228.
All right, there's going to be a few emails coming out.
Thank you, Bart.
So now, and done or closed. So now for tickets not done or closed assigned to Regan, there are 3 tickets. MOB, one of them is MOB 102, which is reported as in progress. One of them is HMF, so that's a mirth unable to send data to AMRS. I don't know how that's in the mobile.
Yeah, that's not right.
Seems odd to have that in the mobile project.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a mobile project.
Yeah, so so I'll move that. Where's the move? Move. To AMRS. So MOB 102 is moved. Now it is AMRS 276. So now there's HMF 6, which looks like a museum create set of tickets showing detail of issues arising when household module is deployed. That's a to-do that was assigned to Regan. So there's HMF 6, AMRS 260, and AMRS 276. AMRS 260 is create set of tickets. Oh no, it's patient search via dashboard taking too long. So basically, it's the patient search taking too long, and the and mirth not working, and then some task for Musema. So I think maybe between Alfayo and Willa, you can decide who should take those on.
Yeah, actually, Alpha is working on math, so you might as well assign that to Alpha.
Okay. All right. So it's just down to 2. So it's the patient search and some tasks for Musema. So all right, I'll let you guys sort that out. But we went from 29 tickets down to 2. So that was a good 60 seconds invested.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
All right, I've got to run, so I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, we are past time. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.